right. Hey everyone, GeForce 41 here with another PGA Tour casual preview. This time, it's my own course. So welcome to Karthwick, everybody. It's been a long time coming, but I finally have a new course out. Previously, I've only ported over courses from PGA Tour 2K21. So this is my first course on 23. And I'd like to welcome you to the fictional town of Carthwick. Just made up the course. The name I'll talk about in a second where it comes from, but as you can see, it is a linked space course. Okay? And if you watched any of my videos recently, my design tip videos, you've seen this course in bits and pieces. So I started the links bunkers video out there towards the water. I did the making your planning look natural video on this course as well. And just recently I did the tree line video just off on the fourth hole, just right in the forefront. They're kind of in the middle of those trees and where the circle is. So this course is inspired by the Great Links courses, Prestwick, Muirfield, and a little lesser known course named Dundonald. So if you're into golf, you're going to know Dundonald. It's gaining a lot of notoriety lately. It's hosted Scottish Opens before, been on the the European Tour before, but folks in the States probably aren't that familiar with it. I had it suggested to me as a really cool course to check out, and I think it is really cool. So the routing is based on Dundonald as well as some of the holes. So you'll see later some templates, you'll see some inspired by holes, and you'll see some stream of consciousness holes that just kind of came to me to make the routing work, okay? So this is the first hole here. That is the third hole right next to us, which is a pretty cool par 5, which you'll see shortly. There's 4 out next to that, and there's a burn that goes through the course and back out to the water. You'll hear me mention that I ran out of meter designing this, and that burn is one reason why. That woodworking takes meter and takes time. So it took a long time, but I thought it was important for the look and the feel of the course to get that in there and wind it through. If you've heard me talk before, I don't like doing retaining walls. They're a lot of work, and this was no exception, but I thought it was important to do it. And once I got used to it, it wasn't as bad as I thought. So, all right, without further ado, let's get to playing some golf. We're going to go over the settings real quick. I'm kind of doing this backwards, but we'll go over the settings real quick and get to it. Let's go. Okay, everybody, let's go over the settings. So you'll see there's 3 tees. The white tees are the casual tees for a casual golf club. And tournament play, we like to play from about 7,000 to 7,200 yards. That's the main reason they're in there. That's where we'll be playing from probably next week. The gold tees are the recommended tees for most people. I think you'll get the most enjoyment out of the course from the gold tees. And unless you're super long, I'd recommend the gold. But super long hitters, where you really maxed out your distance, or you're using the lacrosse balls, I call them, the super flying goodie balls that you earn. Have fun with them, but then you can go from the black. It'll definitely be a challenge for the shorter hitters, which I don't think there's that many of these days. But there's a black tee in there for you as well. But I think most people just would like the course from the gold. Okay, so we're gonna go there. I'm going to just play the first hole location just as a representative set of holes. The wind speed I've set to medium, and I haven't set the south because I've tried this demonstration a couple of times, and the northeast wind that I suggest in the write-up is actually been going about 12 miles an hour in my face, and has really done a number on the demonstration of a few holes. So I'm going to try it on south and see what happens. All right. So let's get right to it. All right, back out to the first hole. So the fictional town of Carthwick is off on the right. That is named after my little guy's pet stuffy cat. And I'll talk about that in a second. First hole, I want to get off to a fairly simple start. You know, you don't want to tick people off too early in the round. I've learned that lesson before. So this is pretty simple stuff. Take a look at the green. I give you a lot of runway there. All you want to do is be right here. You got to keep it right. Keep it right on the fairway. There is a hill here, so if you're down in here, you're going to have like a 200-yard shot with an uphill slope. Left is dead, so you just don't want to think about it. That bunker is reachable off the whites with the wind at your back. Today, not even close. This is going to be a little bit of a challenge with the south wind because it's in our face. Like I said, you want to keep it right. Okay, so I'm going to aim just a little left center. And that's probably going to push it into the rough. Shoot. So I kept it right. But what you'll see here, those bunkers right in front, those will come into play if you can't reach, right? So it's a matter of how far you're going to get. Here, I'm just going to max it out with a 3-iron. See what happens. Hopefully it'll carry that bunker. It is. And I'll run up there. So it's made to be versatile. You know, like I said, schedulers can do what they will with it. You can use the ground a lot here, which is not a characteristic of most of my courses. But you really got to think about your tee shot. Where it is, where you're approaching that green from, how much spin you're putting on the ball, your trajectory, etc. Okay? This green is pretty tame compared to most. And let's look at the speed. Oh, sorry. There it is, 155. Okay? And I brought that down. I was going about 165 when I was designing it. Get in. I'll take it. We'll tap in for there for par. Fine. I brought it down to that 155 you see here. I think most people enjoy it from there. You can move it up to fast if you like. This again gives schedulers some options. I thought the 165 was just a little fast for some folks who get annoyed by the ball rolling past the hole and rolling up the green. Here you see the second tee. This is on that video about making your planning look natural. That's where I started the video right here. Anyway, I brought that green speed down. Hole number 2, inspired by Dundonald. I think it is number 2 on Dundonald. This is what I call the goji into it hole. The wind is in our face here, but most people are going to be tempted to hit driver. And if you got the wind at your back, you're going to go in between those 2 bunkers in the fairway. And you're going to be left with a little 50-yard, 47-yard pitch shot. If you look at this green, it's really fallen off on all sides. It's very small. That's what I mean by goji into it. If you're good at those shots, go ahead. But most people don't think about those shots, and you're going to have trouble getting it close because it's going to fall off to either side. So this is, you know, people don't think of their tee shots a lot, I've noticed, when they play. With my courses, you just have to think a little. I would, for the most part, go 3-wood, lay back, and have a full shot in. Okay? So really think about where you want that shot from. 119. I mean, I don't have a lob wedge at this point. I'm just kind of playing around with adding a 3-iron in my bag. But it's up to you. You can go down there. You can do whatever you want. For purposes today, I'm just going to blast the driver because the wind's in our face. Like I said, the medium winds are up around 10, 12 miles an hour these days. They used to always kind of be like 7 or 8. Maybe I'm mistaken. They seem to be a little stronger on medium. So we'll show you what a pitch does. That one I fasted a little bit. Not bad. You'll see it's just going to kind of trail away there. I mean, that one wasn't too bad, right? But you can see how it's going to fall off on either side. And it's not going to be the end of the world. You're going to be left just past the fringe in most cases if you hit a poor shot. But I think a full wedge in is your best bet if you want to play to that distance. Okay. All right, number 3. I love the par 5s on the front. I love the par 5s on the entire course. 3 and 5 are awesome. This is why I changed the wind. I wanted the wind. The northeast suggestion on the forum puts the wind in your face here. For bigger hitters, that's not going to be an issue. But for me, with this 292 driver, I was having trouble reaching the green, and I just wanted to show you the shot in. So 2 things to think about here. This is going to be sloped down here. This is flatter up here on the left. To the right, you're a little bit more sloped, and you're bringing the bunker and the water into play. You might want to use that slope, because when you look at the green, if you want to get to a back hole location, you might want a downhill side hill to kind of help you use the ground and run it back there. Pin in the front, you might want that flat section off to the left. So it's up to you. If you don't like the slopes, you might want to try the flat section. Excuse me, had a little cough there. Otherwise, you know, try the slope if you really want to run one down there. Here, I don't think it matters, but I think that slope is going to help us. So I'm just going to put one out here. Let the wind help us. This is going to play really easy downwind. See how far the ball goes downwind. And you got that slope down there. And you're going to see how I'm going to have a downhill side up. See what I mean? So that's going to help you. If you want to use the ground running in, go right ahead. Okay? The wind in your face, I wasn't even reaching on my first 2 takes of this video. But there you can see, nice little shot in. Okay? Piece of cake. Pretty nice tee on this course. It's not too challenging. I think changing the conditions will make it challenging. It's meant to be interesting. There you see some of the BTs I call it, behind tee scenes. I think they're important, as we've talked about in my videos before. 4th hole. This is where the Muirfield inspiration comes in a little bit. This is kind of how this course started. I was playing around with the bunkering and just the links look on this par 3. And thinking of, I think it is the 4th hole at Muirfield. I'm not sure. It's one of the, it's 4 or 5, something like that. There's a little medium length par 3. So the bunkering looks kind of cool. They could be a little bit better. I did these early on. I think this was the 1st hole actually I put in full. But the trick here is just keep it below the hole. The green is sloped. It's pitched. It's coming down. You don't want to be behind it. Strong wind. I'm just going to kind of cut one. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to cut it that way. There we go. You'll see some longer 3s on the back and a short ones coming up hole number 6. And again, no magic here. This was the hole I was doing the tutorial on the tree lines, if you recall. Again, simple hole to get you started. So far these holes are getting you in the flow. Have some fun. You can score a little. If the wind's in your face, you're going to have a little trouble with them as well. But I think it's off to a fun and interesting start. Easy into the round here. Now it gets a little bit even more interesting. I did not mean this tee shot to be overly complicated. I meant this to give you a choice. So this is another par 5. I love this one. This is, other than the Alps hole you'll see on the back, my favorite on the course. You have options here. You can go way out here, over here. Ideally, you want to kind of put it just to the left of that bunker if the wind's going to cooperate. The wind's going to make it interesting. How much can you cut off? Okay? If you cut off a bunch here, right, the upside is you got a better angle into the green, okay? You can go off to this side, and there's an option over here, but guess what? You're going over that hill, basically. Let's look at the green. There you go, right? So is that the best option? I don't know, maybe you can pull it off, right? I might do that today because the wind's in our face. But you really want to be kind of at least out here, right? Because if you're back here, you're going to have a really long shot into the green, right? So if you're back behind this bunker, you're looking at 275 in. And with the wind, that's not going to happen. So you can play it as a 3-shot hole from there if you really want. But you're not going to be able to cut much off with this wind. So today, for me, I think I'm just going here. I gave you some room to sneak it in there. And actually, I kind of propped that up for you too, to be honest with you. I wanted that to be flatter, but I didn't want your ball running into that burn unnecessarily. So I gave you a break there. You're going to be able to do it from here, right? I got way up there. It's 234, 8 feet up. I'm sorry, 8 yards up and into the wind. Should just throw it up into that wind. Just missed it. Not a bad shot, though. Piece of cake for bird. This is a fun hole, I think. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. Definitely a couple ways to get there. And like I said, it's going to be way different with the wind in your face than wind in your back. Here's the short 3. So I was doing this when I was doing the video on making your greens look natural. So you know I did the thumbprint green, the short template green at Sleepy Hollow. Well, that's what I started doing here. I made it a short template and with the thumbprint. I said that doesn't really go. That's not really very linksy. So I changed it to this, added that section off to the left, and it came out a little funky, I think, but it's pretty cool. It looks really cool down with the light. This is down light. It looks cool with the dawn light behind it. So the other thing about being versatile here is you definitely can change up the lighting. Dawn looks really cool. I put some pictures out on the forums for you with the dawn lighting. There aren't many trees around, so it's not going to, ruin the view and the greens. I know people get all fired up about that. I don't personally, but some folks do. So we're just going to hit a little gap wedge in here. This is a front location, so you just don't want to cut off too much. A lot of folks are going to wind up behind the hole, or above the hole, I should say. In this location. Get in. Oh, not bad, huh? So far the putting's okay. Alright. There you see some of the planning, which took quite some time. So 7, I really like this one. This is cool. You remember I was talking about stream of consciousness type holes in the beginning? This is one of them. I put that kind of hill there. I enhanced it. What I do is I lay out some topography and then I kind of riff off it. This breaks it up a little. You still got the lighthouse there on the left, right? I like to have open views, especially on the links type of course, to keep perspective on the whole course, and that way you get a feel from the routing and where you are on the course. With these tree line courses, sometimes it's just you feel like you're going hole by hole. You don't know where you are. At least this way you're going to see that lighthouse off in the distance and that coastline. And it gives you a perspective and a feel for actually walking through and playing the course, which you don't get all the time. But you do want to break up that sight line a little bit, so I thought throwing that in there, that hill looks pretty cool with the lighting and the planting. Planting did take me forever on this course, so it was a long time in coming, this course, but I'm glad it's out. Bunker in the middle here, that's about 300 yards out. The key here is to think about where you're hitting it, folks. Think about the green. So where do you want to come at it from the green? This location, you're good being left. Left is a lot easier. You can basically see 4 quadrants there. That's where all the hole locations are. Those left quadrants, the left side of the green, you definitely want to be on the right side of the fairway. And you're going to say, well, I don't have room. You do actually have a little bit of room. Depending on the wind, you can hit it from here. But you have room and a little bit of slope there. You can sneak one in on that side. It's tough, but you can do it. Today, we don't have to worry about it. So basically, I'm hitting it at that bunker and letting the wind take care of it. And the slope of the fairway. I could have even been further left. Doesn't really matter because this location is fairly accessible. That wind is going to help us a hint. So we're good there. We got a little bit of a slope there. I'm going to just add a smidge. See what happens. Not bad. Is it going to catch that hill and make me look good? Not bad. So like I said, you can use the slopes, use the ground here a lot more than any of my other courses for sure. I think Grashmore was close. That was a modern links based on Renaissance Club. Oh, hit the ball. It's like my putting in real life. Get timid. Okay, off to 8. Alright, so I thought a lot about this one. This is a strivable 4, not a short 4, a drivable 4. You know what? I wrestled with this one. I wanted this one to be awesome. It looks okay from the tee. It looks really cool from the dawn lighting. Folks that have played it have really liked it so far. You can drive it and run it up here. The entrance to the green is important. That's maybe a good topic for another video. The entrances and fronts and aprons around the greens are just as important as the greens sometimes. This will kind of kick it off towards that hole, exactly. So this is the primo location for driving this green. But if the wind's in your face and you're playing from the back tees, you might not be able to get there. Then what do? Well, you got options down here. You got 3-wood, hybrids. You can do whatever you want, and then hit a little pitch up in here. So there's a whole lot of decisions and options to playing this one. Most people are going to try to go for it. I realize that. I know. I think this works. I think it came out okay. I've got some rave reviews on it. Thank you, Ivy Mike. Mike said it was it was a top 5 Hall of Fame hole he's ever played on this game, which is high praise. I don't think I'm even close to that, but thank you, Mike, for that. And we'll see. I think it's going to play interesting. I'm not going to get there with this wind, I don't think, but let's see what happens. Let's see if I give it a little bit of run. And I pulled it. And it will go right into the strategically placed bunker. Oh, it actually kicked out. Oh, no, it's in. Interesting. So let's give this a little loft. Get it up there. Green's rolling pretty good. So I did have fun making this course. This hole in particular just was frustrating. I wasn't sure if I got it right. You know, you got to get those yardages off the tees, but I think it's working pretty well. All right, on to 9, heading back to the clubhouse. This is a long 4. It's 510, and you're saying, why is this a 4? Because the prevailing wind should be northeast and should be blowing in from the water. And we do have it at our back, luckily. If it's in your face, it's going to be a 4.5, 5 type of hole. But with this wind and this elevation and the slopes of this fairway, watch. You're going to get way down there, right? And you want to be more left than right, given the green is moving kind of left to right, just the shape. But I've got, what, an 8-iron in now? Actually, with this wind. That slope, I'm going to move it back up. And I'll give it a little loft. But you got an 8-iron in, okay? With the wind in your face, you might not even get there. If you wind up in the rough, you're going to have to carry the burn. Worry about that. With the wind, piece of cake, right? Wind against you, nightmare is 4. And more like a 5. So that's what I mean about, you know, switching up, being a little versatile. All right. Second 9. Let's take a look. So the burn you see cuts in front of this hole, then disappears. We got some walls there. The idea here was to put a wall, and you see the bridges there. I think this sets up pretty. Hope you like the scene here. The idea was to have a wall going across this whole hole where you see that kind of old foundation. That's where I wanted to start and run across here and run across the rest of the course. I just didn't get there, and I ran out of meter, and I wanted to publish, so I canned that idea. I put a little foundation there, and you see off on 11 you'll see another wall. But the newer walls are nice, but they're almost too nice. They look brand new. I wanted an old kind of falling apart wall, which we don't have. We've got that old brick one from the original games. So again, this is a kind of a stream of consciousness to make the linkage to the rest of the course. We've got to get out to the water, and I thought this would be a fun hole here. You can cut this corner, you can run one off this hill here, and it's a short 4 with a very pitched green, and again, you have various kind of sections of the green on the slopes. So I think this is a fun one. Should be scoreable. Again, you can do whatever you want here. Cut the corner like that. Of course, I did that inadvertently. I was going to hit one off that hill. And now you have a little pitch in, or you can lay back a little bit more and have a full iron in, like we talked about on 1. But you really got to get it up there. That's going to work out perfect. Really cool. Little tap in bird. 6 under. Okay, getting some good BTs here. Looked at the crowds. We do casual. We do 2 ready on the casuals. That's why they're there. Okay, why are all those tee markers together? Well, we're on another par 3, and it's time to start the template holes, folks. This is a Redan. If you're not into golf architecture and you don't know much about templates, the Redan is probably the most famous template hole there is. This, I had to do it if I was doing the links. I love them. This came out really good. Probably not my best. I think my Taconic State Park red one came out really good. And I've done some of the clunkers before. So I like this one. The original is at North Berwick, 15. That's the famous one that everyone tries to emulate. There's one at Prestwick. I think it's 15 also. But the features are a green that goes basically diagonally 45 degrees from the tee box. It is a green that goes hard from front right back to back left, okay? And the redan means a fortification. These bunkers in front are the fortification. There's a couple in front, and then there's always one at the side. And really, those are the characteristics of it. So if you look at it, look, it looks well guarded. It looks kind of fortified with these big bunkers and this big hill. So I think I got the look right. The playability, I'll leave to you. You want to read this like a putt almost, right? So you want to use this slope and this green. You don't want to go right at this. And you're going to have a break coming from right to left. So we got wind in our face. So we're going to give it some extra. We're going to go up here. We're going to go down and do this. Whoops. I'm going to do that. But they go, oh, and I hit a terrible shot. So sorry. I wanted to show you that. Redans are also about 200 to 210 yards. So that's why those tee boxes are all together. And I totally blew it. So hopefully you'll hit a better shot and have fun with this. But we'll see it a little bit here. And I whiffed on this shot too. That's a shame. I'm not redoing this video. So hopefully you hit a better shot in than I did. Have some fun with this hole and the slope. Because I totally messed it up for you. Sorry about that, folks. And I even whiffed on the putt. Oh, man. Gonna double the redan. Shouldn't be that difficult. Should be fun. Alright, on to 12. I'm gonna take a quick water break here for a drink of water. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, folks. I need a little drink of water. I was getting dry and didn't have anything with me. So, yeah, more into the kind of stream of consciousness. Needed to get the routing out to the water because you'll see the next few holes go back and forth along the coast, which is pretty cool. You'll see the lighthouse is just off to the left there. You've got that other wall just off to the left. Again, that's just kind of, you know, decorative purposes. The idea here was just, I just looked at in the course, I said, this is, you know, almost like an infinity fairway to go with an infinity green, right? You're hitting it, just hit it at the damn water, right? I gave you an aiming point because it's so kind of wide open, but when you get down here, you see it's kind of an infinity green, right? So I just thought this would be really cool look and feel to it. No super magic, not the most strategic hole in the world, but sometimes you just want to have fun, right? The strategy is great, but it's just a little bit of a narrows concept, that's all. You see that bush right there? Right by my arrow? There you go. There's the center of the fairway. So that's what you want to aim off of, right? I put there on purpose. So I do give you aiming points. So it looks like kind of nothing out there, but you do have something to aim off of, okay? You got a big bunker on the left. Got a pop bunker off on the right, and it just narrows a little. That's all. No magic. This is just meant to be a fun hole, fun approach in. This whole location we'll take a look at. Oh, it's a little tough over there. It just falls off to the right a little, so you gotta be careful, okay? Wind is 10 that way, so you're basically, with my driver, I just want to hit it at this bunker, to be honest with you. Now you got the slope. I gave you the slope. You see how nice I am to you? There you go. You probably could have been better further right on this whole location. But it's not that tough from this side either. That's going to be about pin high if it holds on. There you see the lighthouse to the left. And if you remember that video I did on the planting, this is where I was, right? Well, you can't see the crowds there, but that's where I was planting, up behind the crowd. In that tee box. So 29 feet. Did I hit it? No. Oh, I did. I did. And there you see the rest of it. I wanted to fill in that treescape behind there a little bit more, but again, I was just, the meter is at 93 and I didn't want to risk it. I wanted to do some stuff up by the lighthouse for any of you who kind of do flyovers on the PC. Put some stuff up there, that would be cool, but it wasn't in the cards for this one, folks. Alright, another template. So we're into the template mode here. This is a double plateau. So I was playing with some template ideas, etc., and some holes down by the coast. I started up by 4, like I told you, and then I just went down here, was doing some holes. This is a double plateau. A double plateau, if you don't know, is just that there are 2 plateaus on the green. It's kind of an L-shaped green. There's 1, 2, 3 sections. 2 higher ones and a lower one. The green should be surrounded by bunkers. Pretty difficult if you miss it, so the up and down should be tough. I kind of took it easy on you. But it should be one of the more difficult holes in the course. It's meant to be a long 4. This one's playing 450 from the gold. You got a bunker off to the left. It narrows a little bit. Some bunkers off to the right if you're trying to play it safe up there. I don't think it's too hard. I don't want to make it too hard. You guys be the judge. You tell me how this plays. I've never done one of these before. The other feature is those 2 bunkers you see in front. Those are the principal nose bunkers that should be about 40, 50 yards in front of the fairway. So if you're trying to run one up, if you're in this bunker or these, you know, the rough over here, you might have some trouble with running it up there. All in, it's pretty cool concept. I think I gave you a little too much room. I was too nice here. Green might be a little too big, but you tell me. It's a cool template hole. Definitely going to try a couple more along the way at some point. I think these, you got, you know, all the usual suspects. Fisher's Island has one, Yale, Sleepy Hollow, and I think even Pasatiempo has one. So, definitely a Seth Rayner, C.B. McDonald favorite. Here we got a little bit. I'm just going to go down a little bit. Ah, I missed that one. Slowed it. Something awful. So far I'm playing alright. A couple of bad shots here and there. Of course, 11 was not one of my finer moments. But we'll get this one up and down. So other than a double, we're looking pretty good. You just kind of see the beach look there. Looks kind of nice, huh? Relaxing, I hope. Alright, we're on to 14. We've got another template here. This is a bottle hole. Again, I've never done one of these either. The whole idea here is you've got 2 options. Where do you want to come from this green at, right? Obviously, you'd rather be approaching it from the left. From the right is going to be a lot more difficult, especially that 4-hole location is in that top right corner. That's going to be real doozy to catch. This one, you can kind of go at it either way. With this wind, actually, I think this is a pretty good option up here, but this is supposed to be tougher, a little narrower. It is. I still gave you plenty of room, especially if the wind's behind you. You can bomb it into that section just beyond the circle that's a little wider. But don't forget this section down here, okay? And this is meant to be the section that's further back, but you've got a better angle in. You certainly do here. So here you've got a good option either way. The trick is to get it down there as far as you can because this is much longer. I think if I did this over, I'd move that green maybe more to the left and in. So this was a better option. This, I think a lot of people are just going to blindly bomb it up here. So what I'm going to do instead of doing that is going to show you, and again, here's the view from there. That's not that bad a shot, actually. I'm going to go over here just to show you what you got. You got 11 miles an hour in your face, so that's not going to be too bad. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Nice and simple, 98% power. Ooh, get over that, please. Come on. Ah, I just killed it. So it's not going to be too close. It's going to be 200 yards in now. So that's the trick here. If you got a little closer, you're going to be about 190. So it's going to be a long shot in from this side, but you're going to have the angle. You definitely want to try the 4 location from that side. But there you go. Gave it a little too much. So if you do it from the right, obviously you've just got a little bit more of a challenge on shaping the shot, maybe. than you would from that side. Alright. Guess what? One more template. Alps hole. This is my favorite hole in the course. I just love these holes. Absolutely cool design. I'm talking about my hole. I'm just talking about the template in general. You'll see these. I think it's 17 at Prestwick is the Alps hole. Pretty famous. And let me just tell you what it is. An Alps hole is, it's usually a long 4. My twist on it was to make it a shorter 5. That has a big kind of mound or hill in fronting the green. So you have a blind kind of shot in. I'll do that again for you. Right? You can't see the green really, right? So it's a blind shot in to a punch ball type green. And then in front of that hill, or behind the hill and in front of the green, it's a big bunker. The famous bunker at Prestwick is called the Sahara bunker. And you'll see these all over. 4 at Fisher's Island. I think that 15th hole I showed you at Sleepy Hollow in the greens video. That's a Alps hole. Fisher's Island 4 is a famous one. So it's a punch bowl. Everything flows for me. If you remember that greens video, everybody's flowing to the one spot that down to the right side. Okay, so I slowed the greens down. When I originally had a 165, you can just throw it on the left side and everything's going to funnel right where that hole is. So it's kind of a fun hole. It's a fun shot in. That's the whole point. It's not going to move as much with the greens at 155, but it's a pretty cool hole. I gave you a break on the fairway a little. Now it does slope this way. There's light rough here if you go into this section, so you still have a shot at the green. I really wanted you to have the shot at the green. This hill here will kick you into the fairway, okay? But the fairway does slope. So guess what? I told you I gave you aiming points. There's that lighthouse right there. You do not want to be right of this lighthouse. Anything right's going to go into these bunkers of this rough. So you want to be as left as possible. With this wind, it's a piece of cake. You just don't want to flirt with that bunker too much, okay? So with this wind, it plays real easy. The wind's at our back, so we're just going to throw that there. We got a little slope. No, we're going to mess with that. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to do that. So we're actually just hitting a 5-iron in, okay? You got a little slope pushing you to the right. The wind's going to push it back. Let's see what this does. Did I pull it off? Did I pull it off? Come on. So there you go. So yeah, if hitting a long 3 went in, just put it at the top left of that hole, of the green. And you're looking good. Oh, they missed the putt. Whiff. Total whiff. But we'll take the simple birdie. Fun hole. I hope you enjoy it. I really enjoy those type of holes. Had to put one in there. Alright, 16 is an inspired by hole. I think this was Dundonald or Dunbarney? I forget. I found this hole while I was trying to figure out what to do with this 16th, and I wanted to put the burn into play here. So I did. You might wonder, well, why is that bunker there on 13 we hit it? Well, this is why. Kind of wanted to get rid of the exploit factor there. Your options here is driver down here. You got the wind at your back, so you got to be careful. You run out of room there. Or you can kind of 3-wood it right here. Again, think about your shot now. Look at the green. It's moving pretty good, okay? So where do you want your shot from? Do you really want to risk it? With this wind, I'm actually going to risk running out of room. You don't even need to do that. So I'm just going to hit a little fade. And I fasted it and pulled it. I still might have room, but it gets dicey down here. You don't want to be down here. But I survived. Okay? So again, just a choice, giving you options, making you think, having some fun with it, okay? That's what it's all about in this course. Use the slopes, use the green here. I didn't get that quite enough left, but if you see that, there you go. It's going to roll and roll and roll. So like I said, I don't design courses quite often that use ground game as much, just because I'm from New England. I grew up in New York. And up here, it's a little bit more tree line dense, what you might call parkland style. Very hilly around here, lots of hazard. You know, kind of grassy, bushy, brushy hazards. Alright, that's a pretty BT. I don't think I've seen that one before. 17. Again, how are we making this course hard? I'm sorry, challenging, not hard. Well, you wanted some hole locations to be tough and some easy. This is the toughest location on this hole. I had it right there, just past where that 202 marker is. I moved it back a little to give you room here, and actually you got a little bit of a backstop. And I got to tell you, I kind of pimped that up for you a little bit too at the end. I usually don't do that. I hate when people do that, but I thought that location was a little unfair. So I wanted to make it a little easier, but that's definitely the hardest location on this hole. There's 2 locations here in this section and 1 down here that plays really easy. So again, you know, I want this course to be versatile. This hole's going to play ridiculously hard into the wind here, not so hard here with that hill, and then easy down here. All right. I think I made the shot a little too easy, but I didn't want this to be ridiculous. So right at the end, I changed it. And of course, when you do something like that, it's not going to be so easy. A couple of bad shots on the par 3s on the back, to say the least. Not highlighting my course very well for you at all on the par 3s. And that was a pretty brutal putt. It's kind of like real life Gary playing golf right now. Whew. Gets the bogey in there. It's not good. +3 on the par 3s in the back. Brutal. Alright, 18. I played with this one at the end too. Basically what I did, I had a centerline bunker here, and I was like, well, I don't want to go to that well too often. And I didn't have a good option. Let's look at the green. Well, first of all, actually, let's look at the hole. It's 585 yards from the gold. It's about 600 from the black. Okay, with the wind in your face, it's going to be brutal. And if you look at the green, it's angled off to the side here, okay? And really, you want to be approaching from the left if you can. And I didn't have a good left option for you. The fairway kind of like stopped here and went down. So I added that section to the left there. It looks kind of apparent when I tell you that. And then I moved the right in a lot, and it's huge right now. So this is the one hole I'm, wasn't too happy with, but I wanted to hit the publish button. I figured, hey, you got plenty of fairway, go for it. That's a huge fairway. I realize that, but I just wanted to get something fun out to you and get people playing. You really want to be up on the left here. So the more left you can be up there by those 2 bunkers, the better to go into the screen, especially that the 4 location, I think, is the one tucked behind the bunker. This one you kind of want to be left as well. So there it is. The green, the fairway sloped, so you kind of don't want to be down here. So I think, again, people are just going to blindly take out the driver, say this is a huge fairway, and just whack it down here and wind up in front of the circle there, and realize that's not the greatest shot in. Okay, so just think about your shot. You really want to be left. That's not going to do it. And the fairway's going to move you that way. Is that the end of the world? No. Is that shot okay into the green? Yeah. It's fine. That's definitely a Muirfield inspiration on that bunker there. By 18. You'll get a sort of close-up view of it. So that shot didn't quite work, but there you see how you kind of want to be more left. You don't want to leave them right. Nice crowd at the finish. Scattered them around. Didn't want this to be a tournament course with the tournament objects, because this is supposed to be more of an out-of-the-way hidden gem of a course. And he end with the bird. And he does. So there it is, folks. There's Karthwick. Absolutely enjoyed making it, although it took some time. I hope you enjoy it too. Let me know what you think. All right. Should be fun. Should be something that you could set up any way you like if you're scheduling your societies. You need any advice on it, let me know, and your feedback is always welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Please come back soon, like and subscribe, and if there's anything you want me to cover on these videos, drop me a line. Thank you all. Talk soon.